The Oklahoma City metro area is not on the musical map in the same way Austin and Nashville are, but our communities have a sizable share of musical talent. Some of that local talent finds the stage in local music festivals, like Jazz in June, the Norman Music Festival, and the Deep Deuce Festival, or playing in one of the many indoor venues in Oklahoma City, Edmond, and Norman. But now there is another way to help take solo musicians viral: the website Acoustic Oklahoma. I interviewed Casey Friedman, creator, owner, and manager of the organization. As I approach the weathered building, I notice a sign on the door that reads, "Acoustic Oklahomans Enter." So I step through and make my way up a steep and noisy staircase, only to find that the door to the studio is locked. I knock on the door, and right on cue, here comes Casey Friedman, creator, owner, and manager of Acoustic Oklahoma, an organization that records solo musicians on video and then uploads them to the internet. He smiles, says hello, and gives me a tour of the studio, all the while talking about music. This man loves music. We eventually sit down, and I ask Casey to tell me a little bit about himself.
My name is Casey Friedman. I'm born and raised here in Oklahoma City. I'm 32 years old. I'm a musician, filmmaker, photographer, music promoter, concert producer. I do a lot of things in the music business.
Well, man of the arts. What is Acoustic Oklahoma in a nutshell, and how did you get the idea?
Acoustic Oklahoma started as a video collection, kind of an online video archive of local singing musicians, soloists. And it's a collection of recordings that have happened here in my studio above the Horn Trader Music Store in downtown Oklahoma City. Originally, the musicians would come over and sit down. I have a singer sewing chair that everybody sits in for the recording, and that's it. In the beginning, I was only posting parts of the song. It was only 2 minutes of the song, just to kind of give everybody the same treatment. Since then, it's kind of blossomed into a concert series. We do 2 shows a week at VCDs, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 to 11. Typically, there's 3 to 4 different artists each night. It's a free all ages event. And we're recording lots of music every day. Some local Oklahoman comes into the studio and records a few songs. I used to just record one. Now I record 2 or 3 or 4 from each artist, and so yeah.
How did you get the idea, and what was it really like? The beginning stages. Did you just call people in and say, maybe let's try this out, or how did that work out?
Yeah, the idea began. I think I was kind of cleaning up the space here, this apartment studio, and I emptied out a room, and I had this old chair, this kind of vintage sewing chair, and I kind of set it down in front of this wall, and I think I was looking at the chair, and I'd already been making music videos for a couple years. I taught myself how to make these simple videos, and I've been posting on YouTube for a couple years prior to Acoustic Oklahoma, and I thought, maybe it's time to start inviting musicians into my space here and recording them here. And immediately it took off. I think September 29th, 2010, I called up some friends, and I had 4 people show up the first day. And I started sharing the videos on YouTube and Facebook and on the internet and stuff like that. And it just immediately took off.
In your opinion, are you living the dream? Because you're doing what you love doing.
Well, I guess so. Maybe I am living the dream. It's it's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool. I mean, that's one of those questions where you kind of have to, I guess, stop and think about it and go, yeah, I guess I am living the dream.
So I'm sure this is going to be a hard question to answer because it's very broad. But what does music mean to you?
I feel like music is largely misunderstood, and we typically kind of undervalue it, or we underestimate the power of music. It's something very powerful, emotionally, socially, politically. It can, it has great power to change the world around us. But I think at its core, what I'm trying to do with music is just have fun. I'm not really interested in getting on stage and depressing anybody or making any big statement, yet. Right now, I want to entertain.
Sometimes I pretend to be a musician myself, and I play guitar, and if I hit that riff just right, or if I finish that song, I feel very accomplished. Do you ever look at Acoustic Oklahoma and get that same feeling, that same satisfaction?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, it's most satisfying when I get all the positive feedback that I get. I get a lot of feedback from the musicians that have participated, and just they're very grateful and very happy, and that they were in Acoustic Oklahoma. I hear a lot of musicians telling me that they got this gig, or they got hooked up with this artist, or they got there's all these wonderful things happening as a result of Acoustic Oklahoma. We have a big audience, and so there's just a lot of good things going around. It's kind of a win-win for everybody, I think. It's incredible. I've seen how much my life has changed in the last year. I see how many people have kind of been brought together, and there's just this kind of big community and this support, network. And I'm honored that I get to do this. That this little idea has kind of blossomed into this kind of a renaissance, a movement here amongst the local musicians.
Casey, what would you say is the mission statement or goal of Acoustic Oklahoma? What's the message behind it?
I don't know. Maybe to say that we're here, that this is Oklahoma. This is America. There are a lot of musicians here, a lot of really talented musicians. The mission is to have a good time. The mission is to bring awareness. Is to document these voices that I think otherwise would not get heard.
You're a musician. Would you mind playing a tune?
I'll try.
Okay. For more information on Acoustic Oklahoma, visit the official website at www.acousticoklahoma.com. For Assignment Radio, I'm Clay Tucker.
All right, here we go. Oh, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, Oklahoma, every night my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say,
you've been listening to Assignment Radio, a bi-monthly student-produced public affairs program. The views and opinions expressed during this show are not necessarily those of KGOU or its licensee, the University of Oklahoma. We would love to hear your thoughts on the show, so please visit us on the web at kgou.org. There you can also listen to past episodes of Assignment Radio. I'm Clay Tucker, and thanks for listening to Assignment Radio on KGOU, your NPR source.